Campus Hurdle. It's a big prize, €100,000 in prize money. And number 1 is the Sandra Hughes trained A Cappella Bourgeois, the mount of David Mullins. 3 is Arwished, the mount of Danny Mullins. 3, Bellshill, the favourite for Ruby Walsh. 4, Big Bad John is the mount of Trevor Whelan. 5, Emerging Force, Gavin Sheehan. 6, Gangster, Paul Townend. 7 is an absentee General Principal. 8 is Ronnie Wood, the owner of the trainer, Jessica Harrington. Robbie Power will steer. Sandy Mount Duke. He's a 20-1 shot now into about 16-1. That's horse number 8. 9, Stoneheart, Mikey Fogarty. 10, The Barrow Man, Davy Russell rides at the son of Mahler. 11 is a Genie in a Bottle, Sean Flanagan. And last but by no means least is the gelding by Flemonsford. Oh, so impressive at Fairyhouse. The horse's name, Coney Island. The trainer is Eddie Hartley. The jockey is Barry Geraghty. Tom, the latter was impressive at Fairyhouse, has come in for good support, but can this Bellshill win, having been so unlucky at Aintree last time?
Yeah, for sure. Of course he can win. The big question is, can he back up 2 runs, first at Cheltenham, then at Aintree? The trends suggest that's the one thing that's perhaps the almost insurmountable obstacle this week, because the horses have been trying to come here and maybe make it third time lucky or add to wins at either of those 2 meetings, have been failing, hitting the crossbar or really going out like a light. And Bellshill, it's really fascinating. He's quite easy to back in the market.
It's worrying, isn't it?
2-1, 9-4, occasionally a bit of 5-2. What are they backing against him? Sandra Hughes, another good season for her. A Cappella Bourgeois won his last 2. Very, very tough front runner. He's popular at 4-1. Also, this Coney Island had the stamp of a really good horse, albeit in a handicap up in trip at Fairyhouse, but a handicapper that you thought, when he takes the rise up in grade, when he tackles 3 miles in this kind of company, he could really show himself to be at Fairyhouse. But a handicapper that you thought, when he takes the rise up in grade, really good horse. And for anybody at home, this perennial thing, for the occasional viewer perhaps who's looking for the each way horse, what about the Barrow Man, number 10, Adrian Keithley? Another shrewd trainer, less horses, but he's unbeaten, up in class, up in grade. But you know what? He could be a nice bet around about 16-1, the market suggests.
Interesting, a son of Mahler's horse number 10. Davy Russell rides that, but here in the betting ring, the latest price on Bellshill, as I look over my shoulder, is 2-1. If you shop around, you can get 9-4, but Sandra Hughes trains the second favourite, A Cappella Bourgeois. She's now with Tracy.
Yes, she certainly does, Brian, and by the look of him, it looks absolutely fantastic. And we're going a step further in trip today, Sandra.
Yeah, well, we're stepping up now, and it's a big step up. It's a very good race, but he's in very good form, and it's a natural progression, isn't it, to go into Grade 1? So. Yeah,
it certainly is. I mean, he was very impressive at Thurles and also at Fairyhouse. And how's he come out of those races?
He seems very well, but like with horses, you don't know, unless one run is too many until they run. But he's giving us all the indications that he's in very good form, so we're hoping for a good run.
And here suits him, of course, as well. And we just must say, on a personal note, you've become an auntie again. Richard had a little boy.
Yes, Lizzie had a little boy.
Lizzie had a little boy
on Friday morning, Desi Henry Hughes. So we're absolutely very proud of them all. Yeah.
We'll send all our congratulations and the very best of luck in this.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sandra. Thank you.
That's good news, isn't it? Another Hughes into the world. Here is A Cappella Bourgeois, and I think this is a cracking horse. Whatever he does today, he's going to make a lovely, lovely chaser. He's a son of Network. He's won 3 of his 5 starts over hurdles, and the last 2 wins have been in Grade 2 company. I think we're getting good vibes.
There we have Arwished, 33-1 shot from the Willie Mullins camp. Danny Mullins rides this fella. Brian Cooper has elected to ride Stonehard. No, he doesn't. He's riding Our Genie in a Bottle for... what's Brian Cooper riding?
Stonehard,
yeah. Stonehard.
Bellshill is the 2-1 favourite, and he won the bumper here last season. He also won a Grade 1 at Naas in January. Last time out, he was runner-up at Aintree. More about him later. Big Bad John. He's certainly one that's going to make a chaser next season. Has come over from Wales, from Rebecca Curtis's yard. Good winner, won nicely at Newbury.
5 is Emerging Force. This fella Gavin Sheehan on board, another English runner here. He unseated at Haydock last time up, but he was a good, impressive winner before that. Very, very easy winner at Doncaster.
And Gangster, the chestnut Gangster, trained by Willie Mullins. I thought he looked really good at Fairyhouse in December, but he was really disappointing when he went to Cheltenham and at Aintree. He's got to get back to that form to have a chance here. 14-1.
8 is Sandy Mount Duke from the all-conquering Jesse Harrington's yard. Horses in grade. This fella hasn't run since he was third to Virginia Pallion at Cheltenham, and that was a good run, but He's got to come back. He likes good ground, this horse. He was a summer horse all last year, won a lot of races, a big string him. He'll appreciate the nice ground. I hope it's quick enough for him.
Runs well fresh as well. Here's Stonehard, who's a 16-1 shot. He runs well fresh as well. Brian Cooper now rides him. Now, interestingly, he beat Don't Touch It when winning his maiden hurdle at Goran in November. Hasn't run since February, so he's fresh enough. He's very interesting.
Adrian Keatley runs here, number 10, the Barrowman. Adrian, who had a good weekend at Ayr. He won well when he last time up, but he won nicely when he won at Navan. And he'd been to the sales and he couldn't sell him. He'd won a bumper before that. He was definitely worth keeping anyway.
A genie in a bottle. Well, he won his point-to-point at Bartleby last May, and his last 2 runs on the track have been wins. They've both been at Naas. He won his bumper and then his maiden hurdle, and that was earlier on last month.
And 12 is Cooney Island, representing Eddie Harty and JP McManus. Barry Geraghty on board. He beat Stowaway Shark last time up at Ferryhouse and was impressive in doing so. Beat him nicely in the Fete. That was a good run. He'd also beaten Improver and Billy's Hope back at Leopardstown in December. So he's a horse with a big shout if he's...
I think it's quite open, Ted. I mean, this is our favourite, Bellshill. He's short enough at 2-1, I think, because he's got to come back. He's been to Cheltenham, been to Aintree. A little bit definitely disappointing. He flopped at Cheltenham, but came back nicely at Aintree. He's still got it to do there, but he liked the ground, I think. He's a son of King's Theatre. And
if Liverpool didn't take too much out of him.
We can look at it actually now. He's beaten the neck by Ballyoptic. It's a good run, no doubt about it, but he's got to recover from it.
Yeah, he got a good hard race. He was looked all over a winner here. There he is with the star cap, not with the white cap, just coming to challenge now. And the white cap, I should say, I think he was going to win, but he misses this completely. He just gallops out through it. Looked all over a winner there on the inside, the beige cap, but he misses this. Look, it steps at it out on top of his head there, beige cap, and he goes away then here and looks like he's going to win, but he just gets worried out of it in the last maybe dying strides, really. Still thought he was going to win here when he jumped the last, but he's flat to the mat here now, jumps this well enough. You still think he was going to win, but just in the last dying strides, Patrick gets out in his right hand, big strong man. He's given him a hard drive from the back of the last. He'll know he ran. And I still thought he might win there, but just inside the last half furlong, horse on the near side just gets the better of him.
And don't forget, that was 3 miles, do you know?
Yeah.
3 miles a Novice. He's got to come back, he's got to be good. The O'Brien family, and Aidan in the middle. We've got a nice feature on Joseph later on in the week, which should be viewed. Here, Joseph's got a horse with a favourite chance later on.
Adrian Keatley there, Noel Meade.
Yeah, he had a treble at Ayr on Monday. I mean, some performance. And I think this is an interesting horse. He's a son of Marley. He won his point-to-point, he won his bumper, he won his maiden hurdle. Those are just his 3 starts so far. Davy Russell rides him, and he's certainly one who's going to make a chaser next season. Gangster with the blue cap, and Paul Townend with his back to us. And a genie in a bottle has the green cap of Jigginstown. The first colours there are carried by Stonehard.
Gerald Costa and Rebecca Curtis there. Partnership there, and their horse not without a shout.
Davy Russell, nice winner yesterday.
He rides the Barrowman, Ruby and Harold Kirk.
Ted, these are novices over 3 miles. I mean, they're probably virtually all going to go chasing next season, you'd imagine.
Well, a lot of them have the size and scope to jump a fence any, whether they like it. We won't know till they jump one, but they have the size and scope and the pedigrees to do so.
Did you like the look of Acapella Bourgeois? I thought he...
Yeah, fine big horse. I love the way he races. He's tough as nails. He never knows when he's beat. He's gallops and gallops and gallops.
Brian, Bellshill, I thought he was short enough. Are the punters still coming from?
No, they don't agree with you, Robert. They've taken the 5-2 to 9-4, and they've also taken the 2-1 along the rails bookmakers, where you look at Ladbrokes, David Power, all the way up, Noel Graham's and also Noel Cummins up. You can say it's 15-8. Is that reflected in the exchange as well, Tom?
Yes, it is indeed. It's an intriguing betting race, this, actually, for a number of reasons. The UK horses adding an extra dimension, but this money earlier on that we were talking about for some at bigger prices, that's still following through. The likes of the Barrowman and also this Sandy Mount Duke at 16-1 for Jessica Harrington. What a week and what a 10 days or so she's been having, because it's winners left, right and centre. And Sandy Mount Duke, I don't think it's a big surprise that having watched her win with Woodland Opera, that would tighten up a few points. But Bellshill now attracting support, and also just a few quid around for Emerging Force. Harry Whittington, the UK trainer in Punchestown for the first time, and be interested to see if Emerging Force can step forward. A few quid around about 11-2.
Anything with the exchanges for horse number 12, Coney Island? He was very impressive in a novice handicap at Fairyhouse. This is obviously a step up in grade, but he looked good on that occasion.
He looked very slick up in trip at Fairyhouse, and yes, it's a step up in grade, but one that's been very much earned, and he's very popular around about the 9-2 mark now. Coney Island, number 12 on your card.
Yeah, Coney Island is dead interesting, I think. Runner up to Opera Hat and Navan in the maiden before Christmas. He's won 2 of his 3 starts since then. He's in the first colours of J.P. McManus. There he is. Fine horse, Ted.
Yeah, a lot of good looking horses here. A lot of cracking looking horses here. I'm sure they all cost plenty as in their youth, but they're a nice bunch of horses. And I'm sure we'll see a star emerge somewhere along the line when they go over fences. Often these horses are good horses, and if they like fences, they become even better horses. Likewise, if they don't like it, they become worse.
A genie in a bottle in the green cap. Sean Flanagan should have no problem next season over fences. Already a point-to-point winner. And Sandy Mount Duke, yeah, very interesting. Didn't see Ronnie Wood there. I went to the Rolling Stones exhibition in London last week, Ted. It's absolutely inspiring. Anybody who's in London and near Sloane Square should go. It's wonderful.
I wouldn't go to see the Rolling Stones if they were playing in Goffs.
Wow. I think you'd be on your own.
I probably would be, but I wouldn't go to see them if they were playing in Goffs.
Would you not?
No. It's only across the road.
Who would you go and see in Goffs?
I'd go to see Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
If he was playing in Atlaska.
Would you?
Yeah.
There you are. The Barrowman, 3 out of 3, point-to-point bumper maiden hurdle. This is a big step up, grade 1. And chasing next year, I should imagine. Well, Andy's down there. Andy, this is an interesting collection of horses. I've just been talking to Ted. A lot of them look like chasers. They're big and scopy, and I'd expect to see them over fences. What takes your eye down there?
It is. The whole lot of them are just here having a look at the hurdle. Some fine-looking horses, 1 or 2 sweating up, most notably Gangster of Willie Mullins's. They're just hacking away. The last one you can see is Emerging Force, the English challenger, ridden by Corkman Gavin Sheehan. The horses are well away from us now. Who I really liked beforehand and looked very well coming down as well was Acapella Bourgeois. And the last one down here is winning jockey from the last race, Puppy Power. He got off my horse and beat me. He's apologising for it now, but he's on Sandy Mount Duke, who tends to be ridden very handily. He came down quite calm. Interesting thing about this race is there's a large number of the horses who have made the running before. So some of those, because they'll be keen runners, they won't like to be taken on. They'd like to be making it on their own. Others might be happy that they just want a good strong gallop, and they might be happy to leave somebody else on and do that. So the likes of the Barrowman is one as well, who he's made it on most of his starts. Acapella Bourgeois race is handy, and be interesting to see what they do on Bellshill, who looked to be out-battled over 3 miles last time in Aintree. That was a hard race. Be interesting to see if Ruby rides him a little bit more conservatively this time around.
Very interesting indeed. The 11 runners for this 3-mile test. 100,000 to be spread about the Irish Daily Mirror Novice Hurdle and the 1 non-runner General Principle. Bellshill is 7-4 favourite now, very short. Acapella Bourgeois is on 4-1 with Coney Island, 6-1 then Emerging Force, and Gangster is on 14s. Runners gathering down at the start. Shouldn't be too long before Joe Banahan calls them forward. Joe already up on his podium. Brian, any late changes?
Yes, I've just noticed along the rails, which is always a good indicator. That's the beauty about coming racing and following the trends in the betting ring. Is really like the stock exchange, the fluctuations in the market, and in the last 90 seconds the money has certainly come for horse number 12, Coney Island. 5-1, 9-2, 4-1, and I see the major bookmakers such as David Power, who's a man that lays a sizable bet, only prepared to offer you 3.5-1, 7-2, Coney Island, still favourite and will start favourite Bellshill, but the strong opposition, Tony O'Hare, this Coney Island. If you had to have a fiver, how would you have it on?
I thought it was between top and bottom, Acapella Bourgeois and Coney Island. Walking forward 3 miles ahead of them. In this Grade 1 Novice, won by Kilulta Vic last year when he beat Thistlecrack, no less. As they race now towards the first flight, and Acapella Bourgeois is up there on the inside. The leader from Arkrich in second, Sandy Mount Duke is handy. And they're followed by a Genie in a Bottle. On the extreme right of the picture is Big Bad John, one of the British challengers. As they take the first flight, Acapella Bourgeois the leader, Sandy Mount Duke in the white with the red sash and sleeves. They're followed towards the inside by Emerging Force. On the right of the picture is Big Bad John. Alongside him is a Genie in a Bottle, and they're followed by the Barrowman. As they run on now towards the next flight, which will be number 3, Acapella Bourgeois the leader from Big Bad John and Sandy Mount Duke. Behind these the Barrowman. They're followed by a Genie in a Bottle. Emerging Force along the inside. Arkrich is next, then Stonehard and Gangster racing together. They're followed by Coney Island towards the back alongside Bellshill. Over that one, Acapella Bourgeois, Sandy Mount Duke. Right of the picture, Big Bad John. Behind them towards the inside is the Barrowman, and they're followed towards the next by a Genie in a Bottle with Arkrich. They jump the flight before the turn into the straight. Acapella Bourgeois from Big Bad John in second, Sandy Mount Duke is third, then the Barrowman on the inside of Arkrich, and a Genie in a Bottle. Emerging Force comes next with the big white face, and they're followed towards the outside by Gangster, and then comes Stonehard with Bellshill on his inner, and bringing up the rear of the 11-runner field in the early stages is Coney Island. Coming down the straight now towards the next flight, Acapella Bourgeois, Big Bad John, Sandy Mount Duke is just behind them, and they're followed towards the outside by a Genie in a Bottle. At the flight before the stands, Acapella Bourgeois, Big Bad John over in second, then we have Sandy Mount Duke. On his outside is a Genie in a Bottle. As they go past the winning post, complete circle of the course ahead of them, and Acapella Bourgeois from Big Bad John, Sandy Mount Duke in third, a Genie in a Bottle 4, Arkrich 5, the Barrowman 6, then Gangster, and alongside him Emerging Force, Bellshill with 2 behind him at this stage. Coney Island is one of them, and also back there is Stonehard as they go to the flight past the stands. Acapella Bourgeois jumps it nicely and leads the field in the Irish Daily Mirror Novice Hurdle. Followed in second place by Big Bad John. Sandy Mount Duke is third. Behind these in fourth spot is a Genie in a Bottle, followed on the inside by Arkrich. As they go along the top of the course towards the next, Acapella Bourgeois has been jumping well in the lead. Over from Big Bad John in second, and third place is Sandy Mount Duke, then Arkrich with the white cap, the green cap, a Genie in a Bottle. In behind these is the Barrowman as they head down the hill and shortly be turning towards the far side of the course. And Acapella Bourgeois and David Mullins in the lead. Second is Big Bad John and Trevor Whelan. They're followed on the inside by Robbie Power on Sandy Mount Duke. Just behind these in fourth place comes Arkrich and Danny Mullins. Then a Genie in a Bottle, Sean Flanagan, followed by the Barrowman and Emerging Force and Bellshill. Gangster on the outside. Coney Island is towards the back with Stonehard as they head down the far side now with 5 hurls ahead of them. And our leader is still Acapella Bourgeois, followed in second by Sandy Mount Duke. In third place on the outside, Big Bad John, then Arkrich, and they're followed by a Genie in a Bottle. The next will be 5 out. Acapella Bourgeois by a length to Sandy Mount Duke, followed in third place by Big Bad John. Just behind these, Arkrich, then a Genie in a Bottle, followed by the Barrowman. at this flight. Acapella Bourgeois are linked up on Sandy Mount Duke in second. Arc Richt is next as they head now towards the fourth last, and Acapella Bourgeois, Sandy Mount Duke and Big Bad John, they've been the first three virtually throughout, followed towards the inside by Arc Richt. Then comes a Genie in a Bottle, they're followed by Gangster on the extreme right as they race off the back straight now. 3 left to jump. Acapella Bourgeois in the hood, the leader from Sandy Mount Duke. Arc Richt behind them on the inside. Big Bad John ridden along and has dropped back. Gangster makes a bit of ground on the outside. Then a Genie in a Bottle. Also beginning to close is Coney Island from the back. And they're followed by Bellshill. And then comes Emerging Force as they come to 3 out now. Acapella Bourgeois has the lead alongside. Stoneheart has been pulled up at the back there. Sandy Mount Duke pressing Acapella Bourgeois for the lead. In behind them, a Genie in a Bottle, Arc Richt and Gangster. Bellshill is in behind these, and immediately in front of him is Coney Island. As they come to jump the second last, Acapella Bourgeois over in front. Followed in second place by Sandy Mount Duke. Coney Island getting into it big time in third. Then Arc Richt. Bellshill is also closing as they run the turn into the straight. A long approach to the final flight. Acapella Bourgeois yet to be headed from Sandy Mount Duke in second. Coney Island, Bellshill around the outside, and they're followed by Gangster as they race towards the final flight. Acapella Bourgeois, Sandy Mount Duke putting in a big effort. Down the outside comes Bellshill. Coney Island the place inside him. Coming to the last now, and Bellshill has come there to just edge it from Coney Island in second. In third place is Sandy Mount Duke over at Bellshill in front from Coney Island on the inside as they race into the closing stages. It's Bellshill out in front. Bellshill and Ruby Walsh from Coney Island and Barry Garrity as they race to the finish. It's victory for Bellshill, second at Aintree last time. Coney Island second, Sandy Mount Duke third, Acapella Bourgeois 4, clear of Gangster, who in turn is clear of a Genie in a Bottle, and Arc Richt, and they're the finishers. The other few were pulled up. Bellshill, Willie Mullins and Ruby Walsh battles his way to victory in the Irish Daily Mirror Novice Hurdle.
Oh, what a result that is, what a result. And Bellshill, the well-backed favourite, has got there first. Now, we think there may be an inquiry, but this horse came on the outside. He was never going to be defeated. Barry puts it up to him on Coney Island, but jumping the last, it was always going to be Bellshill, who runs on really well and wins the race. Coney Island is second, and Sandy Mount Duke back in third, Acapella Bourgeois fourth. But this is a good horse. He's come back from Aintree in great order and won this one. We've got Nook now, and we've got a 10-minute break or so, but don't go far. We've got the big one coming up at Punchestown after Nook.